Hello class. So we're going to go over basically how we can attach objects. So previously we had gone to the group and used the group. This week you're going to use those ungroup your chess pieces. For your chessboard, just throw that away. We're actually going to build that from scratch. And I'll show you how we might build that from scratch with some techniques that you'll see in another video. But basically, here we go. Here is my my pawn right here. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to right click and I'll turn it into an editable mesh. It's going to bring up a whole slew of tools. The big one is under Edit Geometry, and it's the Attach tool. And that will allow me to attach these other pieces together. And you can see that as I attach it, the color changed to the purple of the base. For right now, you'll only make one chess piece. So you don't worry about black or white. That is basically now the next step would be to again set up the material to go onto this object to give it that white or black color for each side. So you'd have one chess piece for both sides, the mesh for each side, but then a material that would be applied to each of the pieces. So you'd then, in theory, like for Unreal or for you'd have most likely a blueprint class that sets up the mesh with the correct color, or in Unity the correct mesh with its material. A prefab in Unity. So that's how you would go about doing it. So don't worry about color or materials this week, and that's going to become big in case with the chessboard. So this is basically what we're looking for. Make sure that your object, again, you're picking the object is the root object here at 000, it's pivot here. If you go through, I'm going to show you basically, you can go and adjust it. If you click here, there is adjust pivot, and you can do a pivot. And you basically click on adjust pivot only. So if you were, I'm going to move this up out of here. I'm going to move that up here. I'm going to go back to my world. You can see that the pivot point is now at the origin is now at something 00207.809. And if I want to fix that, I would go over here, click on pivot, effect pivot only, and then type in zeros across the board right here. And I just need to go across. And that is going to set you up back at 0, 0. You can see that the gizmos are these big, thick arrows. If you can't see your gizmos, go up to Views and go to Show Transform Gizmo. So here we go. So this is just basically setting up our chess pieces right now, making sure. And again, you do want those pivot points 0, 0, 0 because that's, if you do put it somewhere else, you're going to have to account for it. It's easier to get this right coming out of the gate out of 3ds Max than it is to then deal with a bad pivot point in the engine. If you've got a bad pivot point, toss it back to the artist, make them fix it, make them get it right. All right, so I'm going to delete this object because we're going to build the chessboard, and we're actually going to go and use the plane to start off, and I'm going to basically bring it out. And I'm basically going to go say it is going to be, we'll do a 400 by 400 object, and I've typed that wrong. And that's basically, and that's going to give us, and we want 8 by 8. So each of these squares is going to be about is 50 by 50. Let's go now. Let's go and let's set this up at 0, 0, 0. And I'm actually going to bring this up 25. So later on, we will fix this and bring this back down. The goal now is that we're going to basically, and we're going to now convert this to an editable mesh. So the goal now is basically we're going to work with our edges. And I'm going to go to this view right here, and I'm going to just focus on this view. I'm going to select this side, and I only want these edges. So I'm holding down Alt, and I'm going to hold down Shift and pull this out. And I'm going to make sure these are at 250 so that I've got that new line. So I've got a new, this is the 9th polygon right here. Now these are going to be my edges they're going to be the edge of my board. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. And, why not one point? Well, because it's easier to deal with this. And in fact, in the long run, you do want it for how what's called the topography of the object. So basically how it's built, it's actually better to basically to extend this line out, which is the extrude function. Again, I'm going to go, and this is going to be negative 250. Again, I'm typing the values here just so that make sure that they are all good. And then I got, now 10 by 8. I'm just going to grab this line right here. I'm going to do this quickly right now, and I'm going to pull this up. And make sure this is at 250 on the Y. And then I will grab this, unselect these, and then copy this. Again, I'm holding down Shift as I drag. And I'm making sure these are exactly on 250 because I just did what I want. And now I've basically built out, this is going to be my border. I'm just going to go to my vertices, so I can just go, I'm using Shift to add, Control to add to these. And now I'm gonna drop these down to a 0. All right, so we'll go back and we'll you can see now I've got, I rotated just a little bit. You can see that I've got that edge, and we'll actually bring it in here. You can see here is one of the sides, so you can see I've got a slant now, and that's going to be basically these faces are going to be the outer edge of my board. You can see right here we've got an issue. So let's go back to, again, if you change, go to Views, undo View Change, Shift Z, which is my right. So and we're going to go and bring in, not default shading, but we're going to bring in edge faces so we can see. One of these here we go. This one right here. You can see that if we go to faces, we can select all of these. You can see that line is through here. So that's why we're getting that flatness. So we can go and actually unselect everything except for that one line. And we should click turn. You can see that. Did not turn. Let's go to the face. And let's go to, and we should be able to do turn. Why is it not turning? Unselect all that. Now I'll click turn. There you go. Why is it not turning? Now, this is one of those, why is it not turning? I'm not sure. But ultimately, like, we want that. Maybe because I extruded it. That's probably why. But we could go in and actually build those triangles ourselves. Let's actually do that. So let's go and just, again, we'll select the face right here. And I will delete them. And the problem is I don't want to, let's delete that. And let's do a create. We'll do this by, and I'm going to start here. That's clockwise. Yeah, so 2, 3. So I'm going to create that face that way. I'm going to go in, and now I can go in and delete this face, because if I deleted both the faces, I was going to lose this point. Now that's what I didn't want. So now I can go and create the other one, and this is going to be, I'm going to start from here. You can see that now that line is down the middle, which I wanted to turn for some reason. I wasn't getting it. Again, I think I'm okay with all of them. Yeah, that was the only one that had that one issue. Now I've got different, I could, come on, I can select, I got the create tool on, that's why. There we go. I can select, let's go to here, and I can actually go try, is it gonna let me attach? No. But I'm not going to worry too much. Again, right now your board is going to be this one color, and that's okay. later on we will apply a material to it, that these faces will have a different material, and then you'll go in 1 2 1 2 1 2, black white black white black white white black white. So you'll get that checkerboard by applying a material to those to these faces. So we'll worry about, again, that's a lecture a few weeks from now, but don't worry. But here we go. This is basically, we've built the board, we turned that edge. We had to do it by hand, but we were able to do it. Again, all of your chess pieces, again, don't worry about black or white. Just have one set of your chess pieces that are meshes, and then rebuild the chessboard like I've done here. And if you want to go in, you want to be like extra and be like, hey, I'm going to select, let's go to the top view. Oh, I need to select a mode. There we go. I don't want these faces. But we can go in and be like, hey, I can be like, I will extrude them out like one, I'll do 10 units and bevel them in negative 10 each, and you should see them. And I did it as a group, unfortunately. So I'm actually going to do these. But there is polygon tools where we can do that by face. We can get like each square its own detail, and that's going extra. I mean, for our purposes right now, for later when we do this will be perfectly fine. Don't forget to save the file, and so that you will have this later when we texture things.